Meantime, the island of Bimini is said to be well prepared for COVID-19, and this despite recording the first local coronavirus death. The island's already put in place quarantine facilities and is ensuring that its healthcare measures can handle that island's demands. Betty Thompson-Moss has that.
As the world fights a global pandemic, this northern island marks a COVID-19 death. Bimini's 2,000 residents, like the rest of the Bahamas, grapple with the situation, but braced under weekend lockdown.
Persons are really saddened, frightened, more than anything else. So it's really affecting the community. And I guess, and angry in some cases, but we are saddened by what has happened, and more importantly, we're trying to take heed, to everything that the government is implementing.
The initiative ended at 5 this morning, but Biminites apparently had no problem abiding by a curfew. Administrator Cleola Pinder reported clear streets in Bimini.
We are really pleased that the government has implemented a lockdown. There are persons here in Bimini that feel it should be longer, especially the fact that we know that the first COVID death was in Bimini. And so persons are, they're frightened. And so even if we was to implement, let's say, a 14-day curfew for the entire island, persons would embrace that, I'm sure.
Now, Bimini's clinic is reopening today. The facility closed following the death of Kim Johnson-Roll, a resident who was treated at the clinic prior to being airlifted to New Providence. She was the country's first COVID-19 death. But officials in Bimini have measures in place for other medical emergencies on the island.
We're very grateful to Dr. Cyprian Strawn, who has a private clinic here in Bimini. And so we actually spoke to him prior to our clinic being compromised and asked him if we were able to use his facility in the event the government clinic became compromised. And so when that happened, I contacted him and we activated our backup clinic, so we deal with emergencies. In fact, right after the death of Kim Roll, we had an emergency and a birth actually at the backup clinic. So yes, we're prepared for emergencies in another facility.
As the nation took steps early in the year to address its COVID-19 challenges, Administrator Pinder and a task force team took a proactive stance as the island is situated just 50 miles from the United States with a number of ports and wide attraction from visitors.
Even before the death, we had one.
Well, it appears residents across the Bahamas took those lockdown measures seriously. Here's media owner and journalist Silbert Mills with a weekend assessment over in Abaco.
You could expect there was virtually no vehicular traffic, one or two persons on the streets, and they were pretty close to their own homes. But the people of Abaco seems to have had adhered to the curfew regulations with a lockdown. Again, I was about today after doing a virtual church service today and went about, and once again, it was very, very quiet. Absolutely no vehicles in sight for miles. And I traveled from Marsh Harbor to Treasure Key and passed one vehicle and then a police vehicle en route to Treasure Key that was maintaining law and order to make sure people were complying with the curfew.